Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, it's time to do a 5-year update on the SC600 water pump. So here we are looking at the Cube Tower Deluxe, and it's definitely overdue for a cleaning. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely overdue for a cleaning. I'm going to be doing some upgrades to this thing here pretty soon. I'll be talking about that in another video. And I'll be getting this thing cleaned out once the weather cooperates. I mean, we've had like countless days of rain and fog, and it's just, I'm so tired of it. Anyways, here we have the SC600 water pump. This was installed at the end of 2017 when I upgraded this system from the AMD FX 8120 platform to the current Ryzen 7 1700X platform. When I did this platform upgrade, I retained the radiator that's over there. It's got 4 92mm fans on it. I retained this reservoir, which was originally from a Thermaltake Big Water 735 system that I gutted from a part system years back. I think 2010 or 2011. Yeah, 2011 I think was the year actually I got that. But so yeah, so think about it. 2011, I got this water cooling loop used. Radiator is of course not the original one. That's a kind of a custom job there. The thing was, I was still running the original Thermaltake P400 water pump on this reservoir, and the fact that the thing was so old, I was like, you know, this is to the point where you like can't really trust it anymore, and it's like, let's go ahead and get something new. And when I was upgrading this system, buying parts to do the upgrade, I came across the SC600 water pump on eBay, and the biggest thing about these things is their cost. I mean, these things are dirt cheap. I was looking at possibly spending $60 on a reputable brand pump from, let's say, like a company like SwiftTech. It was either that or purchase the SC600 for about $20 to $25. I mean, I didn't spend that much money on this thing. It was cheap. And the thing is, I was looking for a pump that would be a very close fit for this Thermaltake Big Water 735 res. So as you can see, it is mostly a perfectly compatible fit. It ain't 100% perfectly compatible. I did have to use some Teflon tape on the threads instead of the original O-rings because this compression fitting there would not thread in all the way, and this fitting here would not thread in all the way. So I did have to kind of rig things up just a little bit, but I mean, Teflon tape, that stuff's used in plumbing. I mean, it's pretty reliable. Have not had any leaks from it. So, some of you may know the Mid-Tower Deluxe runs 24/7. It never shuts off. I mean, the only time it really shuts off is if there's a power outage. And we don't have power outages very often here, so this thing runs and runs and runs and runs and runs. I mean, this thing, it really... We had one power blink this year since I moved into this new home back in January, and this system has ran all the time outside of that blink. I mean, it rarely ever shuts off. So, and this pump is about as generic as it can get. I mean, there's no brand on it. I mean, it just says SC600 on it somewhere. And yes, I know the lighting's not the greatest because I'm in the living room. I'm not in my studio or tech room. It's got some Chinese writing on it and SC600. I mean, that's all the markings you get. So, you know, back in late 2017, I was, like I mentioned, I was deciding between spending extra money on a reputable brand or going with this generic one from China. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot because the fact that it is a really good fit for this existing reservoir. It also has a 3-pin fan connection, or just a 3-pin power connection that plugs into your motherboard. So that way you can monitor your water pump speed, all that good stuff. Now, I've actually ran this pump 100% speed. Now, one thing I actually did do on this one, I think I had the pump plugged into the CPU fan header, and I have the fans on the rad plugged into the water pump header, because that one is just a 3-pin header, I think, and you could easily control it with DC voltage instead of PWM, because I literally have 4 fans wired together in parallel that are being fed off the motherboard. That's how I regulate the speed of these fans. And no, it's not too much current for the motherboard to handle. I mean, there's CPU cores out there that pull over an amp. The CPU fans like that spin like 7,000 RPM that pull upwards of an amp or to an amp and a half. And each of these fans and together, I think the total was, the total based off the stickers was less than an amp. So I mean, see what I'm saying? But yeah, so as you can hear or not hear, you can't really hear this pump. It's quiet. Now I do have the pump and the reservoir sitting on some sound dampening foam, so it really helps to muffle any noise that this pump makes. I'll get you a real close shot at it. Try to get the mic on the camera right up near it. You might be able to hear it whining just a little bit. So, this pump, in case you have not watched my previous videos about this, because I've done annual updates on this thing since I've gotten it, this pump actually, when I originally built this loop, I used Primochill's PC Ice, which turned out to be absolute garbage because it had absolutely no anti-algae additives in it. I had to flush out this system less than a year after I built the water cooling system because, well, it had algae and crap growing in it, so I had to flush it out. And now it has a 25 to 75 ratio, or 25% to 75% ratio of antifreeze to distilled water. So I basically took a jug of 50-50 blend automotive antifreeze coolant and halved it up with some distilled water when I refilled this system, and the pump seems to run better with that than it did with the Primochill PC Ice. The Primochill PC Ice stuff was really, it was like, honestly, I don't think it was anything much more than water in a bottle that they were trying to sell off as PC coolant. Because like I mentioned, within a year of putting that stuff in this thing, having this thing get algae in it, I was really frustrated with that. But here it's been running automotive antifreeze coolant for 4 years. It's been running just fine. Now, in my previous video about this, I think I made a remark about sometimes you would hear like cavitation noise, like it was sucking some air. Well, the system was a little bit low on coolant. The coolant was down to the low mark, and I've checked this thing over for leaks. No leaks at all in it. So I'm just going to assume that there was maybe some evaporative loss, which I guess could happen. I just took some distilled water and brought it right back up to the half mark here, and that's where it's been ever since. But once I topped it off to there, haven't had that noise anymore. This thing runs perfectly quiet, and I guess I could say from my experience, if you're looking for a cheap water pump for your loop without breaking the bank, the SC600 is definitely an option to consider. Last I checked, you could get these things on eBay or Amazon, and at some point back when, I think I seen a video or a write-up where somebody actually disassembled an SC600 pump to show its internals. And it was definitely, I would say, a very robust built unit. I mean, it comes to show that not everything from China is garbage. I mean, this thing, I mean, all you have there is some Chinese and SC600. That's literally it. So, yeah. Needless to say, I mean, here we are approaching 5 years. I mean, the end of December will be 5 years since this pump has been put into service. And this computer, as I mentioned, mid-tower lux, it never shuts off. I mean, it's very rare for it to shut off. So this pump has nearly 5 years of constant runtime on it. And probably the next time that I upgrade the motherboard and platform in this system, I probably will replace it just out of abundance of caution. And probably at that point, I may tear it down and show you the insides, or who knows, I might reuse it for something else. Maybe put a water cooling loop on one of my other systems, maybe the Plexi, I don't know. I do have a socket AM3 block kicking around from the previous mid-tower lux, and I've also got a 120mm radiator ready to go. So I mean, I could definitely do it. But anyways, 5 years on this SC600 water pump. I must say, it's proven to be very reliable. So again, if you're looking for a water pump for your loop, you're looking for something that's reliable, that won't break the bank. From my experience, the SC600 is definitely a good option to consider. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well everybody, that wraps up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to CubeComputer channel, and be sure to tick the bell, that way you get notified of new video posts. Also, I recommend following CubeComputer Company on Facebook. A link is in the video description. In addition to computer tech videos, I have a second channel, CubeCompMTDX. Links are available at the end of this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching and your support.